Hi everyone, welcome back for another post here with all of you. Last week I threw out 3 tunes, the Park Hark, Baiting the Hook, and the Jumping White Nut Eater. And I think I said at the end of that post that I had thoughts, but they've kind of flown out of my head during the week here. I suppose I was thinking of things like interesting how phrases respond to each other, and so like with the first tune, maybe I was thinking of measure responding to measure. The second tune, I think one measure responds to one measure. And then when you get to the third of those tunes, it's like 2 measures responding to 2 measures. Plus, I really like the switch for the first tune into that second tune. The first tune being in D, and the second tune being in B flat. And yeah, I was thinking, I wondered, did anybody look around and see if they knew any tunes in B flat? And I don't think there's a lot. I was trying to think of, well, is this always a good switch? Anyway, I was thinking of things like that. Let me know if you had any thoughts or whether you had found any tunes that could have those kinds of switches, and whether you think yourself when you're writing tunes, like what notes are responding to what. So I want to spend a little bit of time today. I did start to write a tune this week. Yeah, and in this case, I was thinking of my old buddy Eileen Ivers, and I was thinking of her up on stage, and I started to think of that verve that she has when she plays, and what would be a nice tune for that. And as I've said before, sometimes you're following your nose, and you might end up going a different way. I have no idea how this tune would sound fast, but I liked the idea. I think I was listening to something just on the radio, just like a rock tune, and whoever the group was, they were doing so many like switches of chords, and I thought, I'm being very lazy these days and not being too interested or following that path of like what happens if you do a lot of chord changes. So with those 2 inspirations, I have a tune that I can play for you today, and I'll also just share the usual mess that is mine when I'm writing a tune. This has some repeating parts in it that I actually didn't expect I was going to do. But it kind of harkens back to something that I've been liking doing for a little while, is where you get a phrase and you just go ahead and be bold and you repeat it. In any case, I'm going to play this tune for you, and I'll parse it out a little bit as well. We'll see how this goes. And I hope you're writing tunes yourself, and that you're enjoying this side of the Irish music, where you can just use your imagination and sometimes inspiration. Again, like in this case, I just seriously just all of a sudden just thought of Eileen. And in no way does this sound like something that would be like dashing, but that was my intent when I started it. But anyway, so it's not finished. And by that, I'm going to lower this. It's not finished, but by saying that, there's just little parts of it that I'm not prepared to say that's it. So, but here's the tune as it is right now, and it's a reel. There we go. I think the dashing part of this tune would be at the end of the first part. So like that is that repeating part. And then so the tune could go faster, yes, yes. And there's 3 parts, as I said, but the first part is an 8-bar first part. It would get played twice. The second part is 8 bars. It's really like four bars and repeat those 4 bars, right? So that makes 8 bars. So we would say that the second part is just played once. And the same is true of the third part of the tune. It's basically 4 bars. Repeat those 4 bars, and then you know, you've got 8 bars. So you've got 16-bar first part, you know what I mean, and 8-bar second part, and an 8-bar third part. I've said many times on here that I tend to write out what I'm thinking, and mostly just because my mind is like a sieve, and it's like I'll think of something really nice, I'll think it's nice, and then I'll try it, and then it's not nice, and it helps me to just write things out. And however you write things, I always will advise people that it's good to leave everything on the page, because sometimes you won't know what the answer is at a certain point. Next thing you'll just look and you'll go, there's the answer. Of course, it makes sense to repeat some things in tunes. And when you do, you know, there's familiarity, even if almost all of it is kind of new notes. When you circle back on anything, it can tie it up into a really nice bow. So in this tune, if I was playing dum da 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 dum, so that was my first phrase, and that's what I wrote down. And then I had written da 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 da. And then I changed that, da, da, da. And then I changed the next 4 notes, da, dee, da, da. So now I have dum, da, 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 dee, da, da, dee, da, da, dum, da, 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 dee, da, da. And I knew I wanted to do a chromatic run, and I don't know, maybe it deserved it. Maybe I forced it to happen after I played a C sharp at some point, but I went da da la dee da 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 da. Yeah, so a nice little chromatic run, and there's just not enough of those. Da da dum da da dee. From here, I did that phrase da da dum da da da. And I actually was deciding to go da 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 da. So let me play that for you. So I had gone, and then I went, which I guess would have been okay, except that I realized that I could end from there, I had actually done several different endings. I had gone da 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 dee dum da da dum. It's the first part, first measure, and I had also gone da da dum da 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 dum, and I think I had gone da da dum da da dum da, and some point I went da 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 dee da dee da da, And then finally I went da 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 dee da dee da da, and decided that that was the first part. The rolls and things that happen during this first part, they're just what I would do, but let me play them slowly for you as well. Sorry for my hand in the way constantly here. Must think, I think I have to come this way. So the first part right now with these rolls. That C there, I almost like the idea of just even twisting it up a little bit and making it a little bit sharp to almost tell you that you're going to get to do a chromatic run coming up, so that I would go. If you can hear that. Right, and then and then when I put in my Irishisms, I'm ending up with. And a pace, it would be. And then that last couple of measures. You know, I put in some double stops along the way. I'm trying to kind of define for myself what I'm hearing and also tell the listener what I'm hearing. Then in the second part, which goes like this. And then it repeats. And I have lots of ideas in here about what I could be doing. One idea was to go to do a triplet here. I don't know how that's going to work fast, but let me just try it. I could vary it and do a triplet one time. If you get the idea. It doesn't change the notes of the tunes, but it could be fiddly ways of doing it. And then the last part I really liked because that sent us into and we're kind of starting with a G chord there. Because when I'm going slow there, that could be a lot of different things. And this is probably the part that I'm less settled on. But I like the idea of going. to happen. I'd love you to give it a try. And I have notions of what the chords could sound like for this, which might be the last thing that I'll share here now. So I start figuring out what I want these chords to sound like, and an early run of this will, yeah, I'm not great at this and I have to think about it. I also have to write them down and they may change, but here's what it is right now. And I'll drive my brother crazy, who is one of my patrons here. And I'm gonna lilt the tune badly and just show you where I'm at so far, chordal wise. And we'll finish with this. So here we go. High tone. Da 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 yeah. That's where I'm at. Okay, hope you enjoy this. See how messy it all is, but I'm having a ball. I think it's going to be a good tune. We'll have to see what to name it for old Eileen there. All right. Check it out. Bye.